G'day YouTube, Warbles on a lot here. 79 years ago on Star Wars Day, the Battle of the Coral Sea was raging. Star Wars Day, May the 4th be with you, always. And as with the rest of the series, all of my base data comes from this book, and I'm drawing on the unit history sheet, details of operations in the operations record book of 11 and 20 squadrons, RAAF. And today we're going to introduce this sketch map, which is on the inside rear cover of the book. Initially I planned on not using this because it doesn't have a latitude and longitude grid on it. However, it has the best representation of Guadalcanal and Tulagi that I've been able to come up with so far. It also shows Russell Island. It also shows Rossell Island. So there's a Rossell and there's a Russells. Russell. Rossel. We see here the demarcation line between the Southwest Pacific area and the South Pacific area, germane to the Americans because Chester Nimitz, the American admiral, was in charge of this area, and General Douglas MacArthur of the Army was in charge of this area. And at that point, MacArthur had not long arrived in Australia and told everybody that we're not going to fight the Japanese on the outskirts of the Blue Mountains and Melbourne. We're going to fight the Japanese up there in the islands because that's where the Japanese actually are. So you better get Tocumwal Airfield and all of its maintenance facilities and pull them to pieces and bring them up here to Cairns and Townsville and places where we're going to be able to actually use them to repair the aircraft which are damaged fighting the Japanese. This is another reason why I'm really kind of enjoying using this map. A couple of times before we've heard of the Jean Bart Passage. Now, Muggins here, who didn't pay much attention to World War II history in the Southwest Pacific when I was young, now I know where Jean Bart Passage actually is and why. It is considered to be important in this story. So, reading from the unit history on May the 4th, Catalina aircraft A2412, Captain Sergeant C.W. Miller, Second Pilot Sergeant A. Lunnan, and A2418, Captain Pilot Officer A.L. Norman, Second Pilot Officer Dierks, were ordered to carry out a reconnaissance as much as possible of the areas bounded by lines joining positions, and we have the positions, commencing with Port Moresby, Tulagi, and Shortland Island, just south of Bougainville. At this point, we have to cope with the fact that there are no latitude and longitude lines on this map, and a lot of what goes on is going to be happening out around here, which is up to the north of what shows in the atlas. So we have to shift scales entirely and come and see what we can see from here. Not totally clear, but at least we've got a representation. So, commencing from Port Moresby, A2418, Captain Pilot Officer A.L. Norman, Second Pilot Officer Dierks, were ordered to carry out a reconnaissance as much as possible of the areas bounded by the lines joining the positions of Tulagi and Shortland Island, which is there and there. Then we have 0825 South, 153 7 East, which is there. 10 degrees 50 minutes south, 1600 East, which is there. Tulagi, and 1120 We'll just have to belay that pin there. I put it in for an erroneous reason. Anyway, that's the area to be searched by A2418. Meanwhile, A2412, Captain Sergeant C.W. Miller and Second Pilot Sergeant A. Lunnan, so they got that Pentagon there to search. A2412 was airborne from Moresby at 0600 hours local and waterborne at Moresby at 17 hours 52 minutes local. Flying time was 11 hours 52 minutes. Captain reported he searched from Moresby to Rossel Island, then the southwest corner of the area given. So he only actually searched that area. And there were no sightings. And this is the designated area for A2418 to search, from south of Tulagi to Shortland Island over here. And this map doesn't really help me much either. A2418 was airborne at Moresby at 0600 hours local. I'll just change the colour of that corner pin, a reason for which will become apparent. At 12 hours and 17 minutes, a message was received from the aircraft stating that it was being attacked by enemy aircraft in position 8 degrees south, 155 degrees east, which I make to be there. No subsequent message was received, and A2418 did not return. It appears that the twin 303 Lewis guns fitted to A2418 were unable to successfully defend against whatever Japanese fighter aircraft put in an appearance in the search area on Star Wars Day. May the 4th be with you always. So only 2 aircraft flew that day from 11 and 20 squadrons, and one of them never returned, which makes the quote score unquote, if you're keeping track of it that way, as 2 Catalinas destroyed, 1 damaged but able to be flown back for repairs. Here endeth the 6th in the chronological series of daily broadcasts detailing what occurred in the Coral Sea 79 years ago. Warbles on a lot to YouTube. Ciao.